Okay, so this is, I would say, stage 2 at this point. Here's all of our 4 motors, heated seat pad. We're going to have an electric brake that'll short the motor windings, basically as a parking brake. So these relays are for that. Active balancer, JK BMS, and then here's a backup camera in here. Right now the 6 controllers are in. This is a 12-volt power supply for lights. These are bus bars that I made out of crushed half-inch copper pipe. It's double thick. If I did my math right, we should be 275 amps max. So here's the main power wire, or main power bus bar. The negative is not hot until that relay engages. That relay will go through the BMS, so the BMS can shut down this rail when the batteries get low. And it'll also be on a kill switch, so you can shut down the whole machine from in the cab. Here are the batteries. They're not all in yet, but there's 6 packs in right now. Each pack is 36 volts, and it's consisted of basically 3 cells in parallel, and then there's a series connection, so it's a 10 series pack, and then these 2 packs are wired in series for 72 volt. So these 2 are 72 volt, and then there's 2 stacks of 2 there, and then there'll be 2 more stacks of 2 for a total of 10 36 volt modules. And then here's one of the chargers. There'll be 3 in here. At the end, they're actually just glued to the side. We'll see how that goes in the end. You do have to be careful doing wiring, because between these 2 here you have almost 68 volts, I believe, and that can puncture your skin. So I would always drape a rag or drape a cloth, have it insulated wrenches, just so you don't have any shorting working on the bank. As far as the drives, these are the old hydraulic motors. Basically this one is gutted, and I took a 20-tooth sprocket and ground it out so it'll slide over the shaft inside. Once we find our motor position, we'll weld it in place and then cut a slot in the motor and then bolt the backing plate up so it has a bearing in the back. We want about 75 RPM to the wheel at full speed, and I calculated gear reduction in here, and it's a triple gear reduction, and it's the equivalent of 48 to 1. We need about 96 to 1, so the gear ratio from the electric motor to the old hydraulic motor will be a 1 to 2 reduction, and then it'll be roughly a 98 to 1 or 100 to 1 total gear reduction by the time it hits the wheel.